Welcome to the November 13th, 2024 Senior Commission meeting. I will now call roll. Commissioner Zamora?
Here.
Commissioner Knapp?
Here.
Commissioner Starr?
Here.
Commissioner Lee?
Here.
Commissioner Chang?
Here.
And Commissioner Ambrosi is absent and excused.
Will Commissioner Knapp please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the secretary now read the procedures for public comment?
Citizens addressing the commission during public comment are asked to approach the podium and are limited to 3 minutes, unless extended by the chair, and must be regarding items that are not listed on the agenda and are with the city's jurisdiction. The Brown Act does not permit any action or discussion on items not listed on the agenda. No action will be taken on items addressed under public comment.
I will now open public comments. Give her just a minute to look over it. If you'd like, you can stand right there at the podium. Yes, because it's public comment.
I only came to learn about my city. I don't really have a specific question, and I didn't see the agenda, so.
Oh, you're good then. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, I will now close public comment. First on the agenda is the approval of minutes from our meeting on August 14th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, thank you. Next is the approval of minutes from our goals workshop meeting on November 4th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thanks. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Thank you. Request and presentations. Next is the agenda, item 6.1, review and approve the 2025 Senior Commission goals. Jeff?
Good afternoon, Commission. I just wanted to kind of review our goals workshop, kind of review the goals that we've identified, or you as commissioners identified, and then today we will take action to approve those goals for moving on to 2025. So was it last Monday on November 4th, we met as a commission to really start to talk about what are the goals of the commission moving into 2025. And so if you recall, we had some great discussion. We had approximately 6 or 7 goals that were identified amongst the commission that we reviewed and then gave you the opportunity to kind of identify and prioritize your top 3. And so through that exercise and through those conversations and discussions, we identified 3 goals that for the Senior Commission for 2025. And so those goals are promote the Senior Commission to raise awareness within the senior community about the presence and purpose. 2, act as a central hub of resources and information for older adults. And 3, improve communication with the senior community to highlight that Roseville is an age-friendly city and explain what that means for them. And so those were the top 3 goals that the commission identified as being the priority moving into 2025. So I will just, today we will take action to approve those goals moving forward. So that is what I wanted to just kind of throw out there for discussion amongst the commission. So.
Are there any questions or comments from my fellow commissioners?
Okay, well, if nobody else wants to talk. I haven't been on this commission for a long time, but I'm sure these topics come up every year or during workshops. And I'm just wondering, what avenues do we actually have to improve the communication? Because it seems like sending out written communication is too costly. Having an independent electronic base that we can send information out on doesn't seem practical. So it seems like all this is good ideas, but from a practical standpoint, where can we actually effectively implement improved communication?
So I would like to make a comment on that. We talked at the last meeting about the survey, and all of us had a copy of the survey before we set the goals. And one of the key comments on the survey was that the people were hearing about things the city had to offer in the FAB newsletter. That was key. And so we agreed that we would continue leveraging that, as well as the website, to get the word out, even though we didn't have the capability, as you said, because of finances, to do a printed communication. That was a very strong, positive response from the public. And I don't know, did you have a chance to look at that survey?
Yeah, I did.
Did, okay.
I'm not, I guess I didn't take the same sort of take on that. The FAB newsletter was key, but certainly was, one of the major avenues.
Well,
Appeared to be strong.
yeah, so a part of, I should have kind of explained this too a little bit. When, at the goals workshop, when we identified our 3 goals, we kind of opened it up to the commissioners to try to set really some subcommittees to try to address these goals. And for the goal that you might be talking about, Commissioner Lee, promote the senior commission to raise awareness within the senior community about the presence and purpose. Commissioner Starr, and Commissioner Shan have been identified as those 2 commissioners who will tackle that goal. So part of their challenge and part of their responsibility will be to try to address what are some ways, methods, and avenues to do that. So hopefully through this, over the next year, as they start to identify what those will be, hopefully they'll be able to address a little bit of what you're talking about, or what are some ways that we can do that. And then, my role will be to kind of have those conversations with the different groups tackling these different goals to help facilitate and there's some things we might not be able to do, but then there might be new ideas that we haven't thought about or different ways and avenues that we can get the message out. So I'm excited to see what the commissioners come up with in regards to how they, what are the ideas and what are some of the measurable goals that they have to address, that specific goal.
So Commissioner, I would say don't feel defeated, right? For some of us that have been on the commission for a while, we have seen the progress, right? So it went from, oh my goodness, does anyone, know what this commission is? How can we get out information? But understanding that we are bound by those limitations, right? Funding, different things that we can and cannot use. So I would say hang in there. And I think the goals that we kind of all came up with, we talked about for a really long time. We did miss you being there, but we look forward to working with you on some of these as well, too.
And I know that Commissioner Chang and I, we had a similar goal around communicating. How do we make people aware in the community of Roseville what we were doing? And we were both, I think, frustrated that we didn't make a lot of progress. One of the key resources we wanted to utilize was the website, and the website is being redone, and it still is not available to us. So I think we were held back a little bit by that. I think it's good to take a fresh approach. I also see this goal is going on and on and on. I don't think it's going to end after this year. I think
At
more
least
and
a
more
2
can be
year.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to
It's a
make a
continual
dent.
thing.
Yeah.
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 So I just got some feedback today. I was working for some people up in Grass Valley, and what they would like is if they, again, they're hearing the overall play to No Wrong Door, No Wrong Place to Call, and they were wondering if there's a place in Roseville that they could call and they would get referred to the right place. So because like a lot of the older people are not really feeling comfortable with computers. They're usually comfortable through their children that help them or their phones, but they would like to be able to call in and find out, where do I call next? What do I call about? Instead of looking it up, I know I'll take an easy one, transportation. That's usually pretty easy to walk through. But sometimes it's more like, who do you recommend if I need help for my mother? It's a lot of the children, some of them not from here, from other states even, that want to know what's available for their parents and help them utilize the resources we have. And we have many resources. They just don't know how to access them. And I think it would be great if there was some way that they could call in to Roseville, a number, and get transferred to somebody who would be able to help put them in the right direction for what they're looking for. A lot of the times, what they ask for is not really what they're looking for. You have to kind of sort through it. So I know that's a problem. But at least if they could call in and they felt like they were getting help versus there may be a number that you can call, but the warm handoff, in other words, I'll stay in line and make sure that you're connected. Sometimes that helps. I'm kind of getting that feeling from people. I just want to be a little more handheld because a lot of the needy people are on the older range of the age. And they are starting to need help with things, can't drive anymore. Know that there's Meals on Wheels, but don't know how to get to them, kind of things. Those kind of questions. And can I call Roseville and get who I need to go to next?
And that would be a good model for those services that I had mentioned last week, right? The top 9 services, right, that seniors go after. And if there's a way that whichever body has kind of implemented or working on that No Wrong Door, once that is implemented, executed, is there a way to partner with them in terms of how did they do it? How can we apply that, if permissible, to apply that for Roseville? So we're not reinventing the wheel, but just getting their best practices, right? And what are the steps they took to implement that for whichever county that they did. So
Does
Oh, sorry.
211 not still take calls for, okay.
They do.
211 is as good as the information they get. So part of that is they don't always get all the information in a timely manner. You have a great medium with the Fab Club. You have a great place for people to call for a number. If they have the resources, maybe they can send them out, because it's not always what the Fab Club is doing, and maybe other services. But if we can provide that for them, I think we'll be seeing as even a better resource, like they call Eschaton. You help them to get to places, but I would know if I were a child from somebody that I call Eschaton, I would call the city and look at what they have first. So maybe providing the resources to somebody like the senior center, and that it's on the website, that's where to call. And again, they get a warm handoff to somebody that can further help them. Maybe find out what they really want. It may be a specific thing that they need.
And maybe even a follow-up call to see if they got that information that they needed.
And that,
If there's a resource for that, that would be
right,
good to know.
continue to build on that resource. I just think I'm finding the older people kind of they're shy, a lot of them, don't know who to call, don't want to ask for help, and tend to refrain from that when they really could get the help. And we have a lot of services. It was, for example, today I was just working with somebody with transportation, and they were overwhelmed with the idea of Uber, and their children kept saying, we'll get them for you. But I called and it was $11, and then I called again and it was $32, what happened? They don't understand that because they haven't really learned the process. But somebody can help them through this or say, there are other options that you can have. Let me give you the phone numbers for those. And like SAC Transportation, who I eventually called, was very helpful in getting them to the right spot that they needed. So it's not like you have to do everything, but I think if there's a place that they can call and start the line of help. And
I think to your point about reaching out to the children of seniors, especially the older ones, if we can do a better job targeting them so that they're aware of it and can then communicate that to their father or mother or uncle, aunt, whatever, I think that's an option. And I think we could probably include that in some number one, too, to make them more aware of what we do.
Yeah.
I think it's a missed opportunity that we've had in the
Yeah, 'cause
past.
like for goal number one is really, we have to figure out where is the segmentation, right? Of the different populations that we want to target and how it comes all back into funneling that information to the seniors, whether it's children, whether there's no wrong door kind of model, whether it's something else, and then becoming that, which bleeds into goal number two in being the hub, right, of information.
So I'm not familiar with this 2-in-1 or 2-in-1, I don't know.
211, so like 411, 911,
Oh, okay,
211.
I thought it was some, all right. In which case, I think what we've run into in the past is we have these ideas and we put them out and said, it'll be nice to do these things. I guess this is mainly a question to you guys, is what's the possibility of actually accomplishing or having the available resources to even start addressing some of these things that are mentioned? Is it feasible or is it just not?
I think it just, yeah, I think it's completely feasible. I think partly it's just try to understand a little bit, I think what Commissioner Knapp was talking about. What is it that people want? What do they want to know? I think some of our challenge internally is to kind of, when we talk about the hub is, we don't really have a dedicated, other than our FAB program and our volunteer program who field phone calls at the volunteer desk for the FAB program, the senior program. They really, they utilize seniors first as really kind of a resource to help drive people to what they want. If it's something within the city, if it's a transportation, then we obviously have a transportation department that we can help facilitate communication to. But really, I think our responsibility is exactly that, is just a resource to provide somebody with a contact to get to them to where they want. And so certainly we're limited in some things we can do, but I think if we can just provide some information that, here's your first place of contact that we might have a resource for you. I think we have some amazing volunteers in our FAB program that assist seniors who call, and they're constantly on the phone with seniors trying to provide them resource and access. So it's a little, we're kind of doing it already, but I think as part of what the commission identified as part of their goal was to really communicate that to the community, that there is a hub of a place of contact that they can call to try to get a contact for a resource of whatever they're looking for, right? It's a starting place. And so, there's, again, partly it's about time and resources on the city staff time too, of what we can and can't provide.
Sounds like the key is within FAB then.
I think that would, for us, I think that's the starting place, correct?
Okay.
Right, and if through some of the research and some of the work done by the commissioners, if they identify other opportunities, then we can certainly look at and see how we can accommodate that, or if there's additional resources that our FAB program needs to have at their disposal to provide people who call. Maybe we don't have contacts for a certain resource that the commission comes up and goes, hey, here's additional contacts for this specific resource that now the FAB volunteers have at their disposal to provide additional contact information to people who call. So,
Is there someone that's head of the FAB?
We do have a staff member, a full-time staff member who oversees the FAB program, yes.
Commissioner, it's right here too on the back
Oh,
of the
okay, thank you.
tab. Any other comments from our commission?
One more question is, with this FAB newsletter, is it, who can get a hard copy versus a soft electronic copy of the newsletter? Because I know I've asked, my wife and I've called in and talked about issues getting the FAB newsletter. So, I mean, finally we're getting it, but it's electronic. So, from what I hear, a lot of people may have difficulty accessing electronic copy. So I don't know, is that an issue with other people, or is
Yeah,
getting
and
the
where,
FAB newsletter?
and what is the circulation of that?
So the hard copies of the FAB newsletter goes to our recreation facilities.
Oh, okay.
And then what we've done in the past is we've tried to get this information out to different communities, different senior locations. We've been successful at times. Other times, maybe we're not welcome to provide that information. Sometimes it's a little harder to get. We talked about this at the council or at the workshop about trying to get into like Sun City, right?
Right.
They have their own little network, and so, and part of it, to be fair with staff, it's the time. I mean, it's the time to make contacts with all those communities, to try to create relationships. But I think that's part of the senior commission's responsibility and goals, to help do some outreach and connect. And, I mean, like the FAB newsletter is also on the website. We do send it out to members. And so that's a bit of our reach. And, but again, I'm excited to see kind of what the commissioners come up with other strategies to try for outreach to get that information out.
And the link to the newsletter, is it on the City of Roseville?
It's on the City of Roseville website, on the
Okay.
Park and Recreation page, yes. And it should be, if I'm not mistaken, it should be on the FAB newsletter itself, too.
So I'm just wondering, it's only on the Park and Recreation page?
It is, because it's part of the FAB program.
Okay. And I'm just wondering if it should be somewhere more prominent,
So,
right?
Potentially, yeah.
I think that's what Jeff is saying, right? That's on us to put that as we're working through this,
Okay.
right?
I think-
As we're looking at some of our goals, right, they have limitations, we have limitations is what we can do, and we can bring it forth and make those suggestions. And
Okay.
There's probably a good chance that we could get a very simple update to the senior page with something like that, like a link, right, Jeff? I
Yeah.
know we can't make
Sure.
major changes or add
Right,
3
right.
pages to the website, but something
Just
like
a
that we
link,
could.
yeah.
And I remember when, I think it was Kirsten, when they spoke about FAB, I don't know if it was August or the time before, and they talked about their distribution. They have a distribution for hard copies going to certain locations where they, every time there's a new publication, they drop off a stack or they put it on a bulletin board. They have that in place. And one of our commissions, not our commissions, but our goals the time before was, as we reach out, the people that were on that goal, to some of these senior communities, we start to explore doing that more often and getting that information back to FAB. So even though we can't reach everybody with a hard copy, there is a little stack of them that they can access if that's what they prefer to do. But, yeah.
Or even take it with us as if we do the outreach to these senior communities, right? Because I'm thinking, can we get on their speaker program, right? Because each of these communities have a speaker program, which comes, that does informational stuff on every topic to seniors. We have it in our community. And if they have that, something like that,
Yeah,
trying to get on their agenda to be one of the speakers.
to what Jeff
Yeah.
was saying, though, we ran into roadblocks with Sun City as an example because they have their own program and they didn't feel they needed us.
Okay.
There's probably a few more like that out there
Yeah.
that aren't really open to that. So, but some
We
that
could
don't have it.
try, right?
Yeah, some that probably
It's
don't
like
have.
knocking on doors.
any other comments from our commissioners?
So I think Commissioner Chang has to, or should volunteer for one of the goals as well, right? Because he was not at the last one.
Yeah.
So I don't think we volunteered in his absence. We thought about it, but we didn't do it. So maybe you could think about it or let Jeff know. I don't know.
I'd like to open up to public comment. Is there any member of the public that wishes to give public comment on this item? And if you do, you just go right up to the podium. Okay, I will now close public comment. Is there a motion to approve the 2025 Senior Commission goals?
I move to approve the goals for the Senior Commission.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, now on to board member, commissioner, staff report. Staff, do you have any additional updates or comments for the commission?
Yes, actually, I have a few things for you. So just an update, at the November 6th City Council meeting, the City Council approved the consolidation of the boards and commissions into one Parks, Recreation, Libraries Commission, effective January of 2027. So we have 2 more years of, how we, Senior Commission, the Library Board, and the regular Parks and Recreation Commission before we consolidate. So just wanted to update the commission on that. Another interesting fact that came out of kind of our conversation with the goals workshop, we talked about viewership of, are people watching the meetings? And so I was able to get some data, still working on more data, but when we looked at the YouTube viewings over the from 2023 through the last meeting when was that? August? August. There's an average of 50 views per meeting. So I don't know really what that means as far as are people watching it or are they just clicking it but I was pleasantly surprised to see there was 50 views. We are still working on getting some of the data from our website because you can watch the meeting on our website as well. So we think people go there. So we're still pulling that and I should have that information by the next council meeting. Next commission meeting. And then just some updates regarding the FAB program. I thought were important. So on September 28th, we held our FAB open house out at Mahaney, which was the first time kind of, again, trying to promote the west side of programming out at Mahaney. We had over 80 people attend, which was very promising. We did a presentation on senior safety by the Roseville PD. We did a fall prevention from the Agency on Aging and a healthy living workshop from our own City of Roseville fitness coordinators. So very well represented and really good feedback about kind of what we're trying to accomplish out on the west side and provide in regards to city senior programming. Some upcoming events and programs. Again, I'm saying this because I know this was a topic of conversation at the Goals Workshop. We have tech support sessions that we've expanded to Mahaney. So these are sessions that we have somebody come in that kind of works with individuals who are having issues or challenges with anything technical with computers, phones, iPads, that type of thing. So we run it every first and third Thursday of the month, from 10 to 12 out at the Maidu Community Center, and then every third Wednesday of the month out at the Mahaney Fitness Center. Again, free support. This is a free program for technology support. And then our holiday FAB membership luncheon and cookie exchange is Wednesday, December 4th from 11 to 1. This is a free lunch that we kind of recognize our FAB members out at the Maidu Community Center. So, and then I think the last thing I want to share and recognize is I do want to recognize Commissioner Knapp. And so this is Commissioner Knapp's last meeting. Kind of really actually sorry to see her go. She's been on the commission on and off since 2015. That's it could probably go before that, to be honest with you, but that's the information that I was able to pull. So almost 10 years being a part of this commission and kind of just wanted to say thank you for your service. You've always come to the meeting with a lot of information. You have this passion and desire to help the senior community and the active aging community, and it shows. And you've been instrumental in making this an active, age-friendly city. very active on the WHO report, getting that accomplished when you were during that time on the commission. So just wanted to recognize the service over the last 10 years and the appreciation on behalf of the city for what you've done for seniors within the community and what you've accomplished on the senior commission. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and it won't stop. I'll do things outside the committee now.
Yeah. And really, the last thing is, we will not meet again till February. So I just want to wish everybody a happy holidays. We got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. And so just want to wish everybody a happy holiday, a safe and hopefully relaxing holiday. And then come February, we'll hit the ground running and start to make some headway and accomplish some things that we've talked about coming out of our goals. So super excited about that. So.
Jeff, what is your availability to meet with each goals group to discuss the SMART goals and
Yeah,
our whole action
I'm
plan? What is your
available.
availability?
I will leave that to the commissioners, the individual commissioners, to when you're ready. Obviously you have my contact. I'm open to meeting with the subcommittees of the goals, and we can review those and see where the city can help facilitate some of that information.
And what is the WHO report? You mentioned,
It's the World Health Organization.
World Health
Yes.
Organization, okay.
Which is now taken over by AARP. It used to be international, and now they've got it down to where they think they can focus on things specifically for different areas. And when you look at it, it's very specific areas that we looked at, including like transportation and parks and recreational activities for people.
Okay, thank you.
Members, do you have any comments or updates for staff? And I'll start first. I've been able to serve with Commissioner Knapp for not as long as you've been doing this, but for a few years now, and I've learned a lot. And so I hope we can continue to hear from you. Hopefully, you'll be making us hear some public comments as well too, so you can remind us of items. But thank you from all of us for your hard work.
We'll sign her up to be guest speaker every quarter.
Anything else from any other commissioners?
I am working on a guest speaker, so I'll be in touch with you about
Good.
that, Jeff, see if there's interest.
Good.
Might have one.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Seems too early.
Move to adjourn.
Can I have a second?
And second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, guys.